Food Craft Institute. I love you guys very much. Thank you for creating new generation of chefs all the time, for keeping our industry on top of the world, for creating more dimensions of hospitality and creating so many jobs and so many talented people walking out of your doors. I'm forever humbled, and so honestly I feel that how much I learn from your kids who've come from your school and who've trained with me sometimes, and I just feel very honest about it, that how much you guys teach and how technology has affected so much. And with this new technology, I see that you're using all these new things in your institute, and I think that was missing during our times. But I think that today they have more chances of learning so much more what you guys are doing. Big salute. Thank you. And the question here is, what is your message to the culinary institutes to inspire the generation's next chefs beyond skill and knowledge? Beyond skill and knowledge, I think there's one more word which is very essential, because that's a root, that's called passion. It's the passion which can give you the power and the strength to stand in the kitchen and endure the heat, physical, mental, emotional, egos, everything, for hours at a stretch. It's your passion which gives you the belief that, I can stand up here and this could be my position. And I understand that cooking is a very hard profession. A lot of times we give up because of the environment of the kitchen, or understanding that the politics and the egos involved. But I think that it's the passion, that you have the passion to cook. And the most important thing is that imagine that you're a part of every celebration. Maybe you're behind the range, but people are celebrating around your food. They're sitting together. You have the power to influence the culture, families, cities, nations. I think that our kids should know more about the power of food, which they already know because that's for their institute. But the food, which is the unspeakable power of food, I just feel that that has to be more endured in us, and we should be more honest and more outgoing about it, that it's a profession. This is possibly the only profession in the world where you get compared to the mother. Beat that now. You can't beat that when people say my mother or grandmother used to cook like this, So you have figured out that you can bring a season back in people's life just by cooking. I think that's an art and science and whatever put together. I just think that we got to be more passionate, more patient when we learn, and more humble when we are experimenting. We keep the cultures intact. It's all because of you guys. Lake Isle Press. Hi ladies. In India, we sometimes, my culture, we say not ladies, we say ladies. So my beautiful ladies, hi. What's next for you? What are you currently working on? My next project is, I would say it's one of the biggest achievements, if that is the word which exists. I still remember it was almost many years ago, almost 7 years ago, when I met His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I was telling him a food story, and he said that, as we become more global, I would use the word, there are a lot of cultures, and we have to choose sometimes what we take forward in our culture and what is left behind. And he says that what is left behind is also part of the culture, but it should not be forgotten. So because of that, I created a big project, which I'm so proud of. It's called Return to the Rivers. And I'm proud that His Holiness the Dalai Lama also wrote the foreword of the book. The book explores a journey. I rather use the word pilgrimage, because journey is a smaller expression. Pilgrimage is something which influences you, affects your thinking, your consciousness. And I think working on that book gave me so much more idea of where I come from. The roof of the world, the Himalayas. I'm going to try to say it one more time, right? The word is Himalayas. Himalayas is what is spoken in the Western world. But it's a Sanskrit word, so I'm going to say it exactly the way it's supposed to be spoken. So it's the Himalayan cuisine. And not just the cuisine, but the people and the abundance of hospitality and the sharing of love and food and culture. I just hope and pray that I can do full justice to the people who made this pilgrimage worth traveling for so many years to and forth back into the Himalayas. And I do feel that between India and China are such emerging powers of nations and cultures, there is little cultures and rituals which are put on the back burner. So I thought maybe I can revive some stories of these people, their humble hearts, their simple kitchens, and their open fires. I feel that somehow down the line, when I was traveling in the Himalayas, it turned me into a poet. I don't know how did that happen. But every time I would experience such a high moment of life and something which was so humbling and honest, I felt that somehow it was very powerful, which made me into a poet. And in this book, you see the head notes and everything which will come. And I think the name of the book, Return to the Rivers, comes from a trip which I made to Kolkata, which is the last point of Ganges. And we in our culture we have this thing that if our deceased one, we put them back into the river in ashes, because the river is the greatest form of life. It's the most recycled form of human evolution and civilization. It's because of the rivers we settled. It's because of rivers we were no hunters anymore. We became civilized people. And I think it's because of rivers we owe them as a tribute, as they being our mothers and sisters of the nations. And eventually everything gets back to the rivers. So that's why hence the name, Return to the Rivers. And I hope you will tremendously enjoy it, how much we enjoyed putting it together. We are releasing it in a few months. We'll update it to you guys the first. Thank you.